Our top story this hour is that trade tension. It is mounting. The chief financial officer of Chinese technology giant Huawei was arrested on Saturday at the request of the United States, a move likely to escalate tensions between the two countries. This arrest is sending shockwaves throughout global markets. It took place on the same night as the high-stakes dinner between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping, where the two leaders established that 90-day trade truce. Joining me right now is former Canadian Prime Minister, author of the book Right Here, Right Now, Stephen Harper. Mr. Prime Minister, it's great to see you again. Thanks very much for joining me this morning.
Well, thanks for having me.
Now, the CFO of Huawei was arrested in Canada. Give us your thoughts of this relationship between the U.S. and China, or even China and the rest of the world, including Canada, because there's more to this story than just Iran sanctions. This is about espionage and about the potential for the Chinese government to use Huawei, use ZT, as an enabler to spy on political enemies or even friends like the U.S.
Look, just a couple of thoughts. I'm not going to speculate on the arrest. Obviously, it's a criminal matter that's going to be before courts, and
sure,
I don't know the specifics. What I do know is that when I was in government, we were increasingly concerned about the penetration of Huawei and ZTE into Western democratic telecommunications networks. These are organizations ultimately tightly tied to Chinese security apparatus, and we think there's some real serious issues there. I obviously note that the United States is encouraging Western allies to essentially push Huawei out of the emerging 5G network, and my personal view is that that is something that Western countries should be doing in terms of our own long-term security issues. You know, as long as people have to remember, China is not simply an economic competitor and a major economic challenger. I think that bothers us less than the fact that China is, in fact, a geopolitical rival that has made no secret of the desire to spread an alternative to Western democratic norms. And I think that's something that should concern us.
So what should be done then, Mr. Prime Minister? Because, you know, we can't look at this story in isolation as if this just happened this year or this just happened last year. I mean, when you were in charge and running Canada, you too looked at these companies as a potential threat. What should be done in terms of getting China to change its behavior in terms of spying on the rest of the world, stealing trade secrets, and then coming up with companies that compete with them and beating us at our own game?
Well, there's many things have to be done. As I say, one of them is obviously dealing with the particular problem of the penetration of these telecommunications agencies into the West. I think that's a concern in and of itself. Obviously, pressure has to be brought on China to change its behavior in terms of rule breaking. But as you know, I go farther in my book, Maria, and I argue that the rules themselves have to be changed. We have a situation where the Chinese have wide-ranging access to our markets. Our access to their markets is extremely limited. It has caused the loss of millions of jobs in North America. And frankly, the trade deficits keep growing as China gets more wealthy. The opposite should be happening. Essentially, I think the United States has, under long-term policy, been essentially paying for the rise of an alternative rival. And this is simply unwise. And look, I know that markets get rattled by the administration trying to take on this problem. But if we don't take on this problem now, in the long term, this is going to get worse, and frankly, we'll get to the point in the long term where China cannot be taken on, where it is determining the rules of the global system in arbitrary ways that simply suit its own interests. So, you know, I don't know if I agree with every aspect of the administration's policy. Taking on this issue of Chinese rule breaking and rules that frankly allow China to exploit a trade relationship, this has to be done.
Yeah, you make a really, really important point there.